One more little shot of our rooms in Iquitos, and we are packed and ready to go to Cusco, up in the mountains. Iquitos was in the jungle. Cusco is in the mountains. Here's a picture of the hole where Tony rolled his ankle in when we first got to Iquitos.
We are at the Iquitos airport. Going to Lima. Got a 5/7 hour layover at Lima airport. And then we fly to Cusco. And then we might be able to take a hot shower separately. And then sleep. Who knows? But as much as we don't want to be on a plane right now, we're ready to get the fuck out of Dodge. You know you out here, and this is how you gotta board the plane. I gotta walk to the motherfucker. So I'm boarding first. Tony's boarding in an hour. And then we have our layover, but he leaves first from the layover. And then I go. It's so weird.
After walking like a runway model down the runway to get to the plane, I was boarded. And then we got to Lima, and we slept in the airport. And then we were back on the plane. And then we kept on flying. I will always take the emergency exit seat for that little bit of extra leg room. I'm muy alto. That means tall. So I need that extra space. I don't like to be cramped in no little ass area. Believe it or not, I've never been scared to fly. I'm a bit of a daredevil, so I just look at it like a roller coaster with no track. And you get to see cool ass shit. And I like to be high. Real high. Up and away, they say. And it's cool to see the things get smaller and smaller. Ocean and islands and all those little things. But traveling is the worst. Just being tall, you have no room to do anything. And then you just feel like you're up there in the sky like a god, a lion, a bird. I love it, love it, love it. And you just never know if it's just gonna crash and it's all gonna come tumbling down. And I like living on the edge. It's like a little Peruvian roulette. I know people hate to fly, but I don't know. I like that little sip of water they give you or coffee. Sometimes they give you a couple nuts. That's always exciting to have a little treat, you know. But when I tell you these mountains coming down out of the clouds, it was absolutely breathtaking. I already told you, I don't need to say it again, but it was amazing. Like, that was the coolest plane landing I've seen in a long time. And I've flown enough, so I would do that just to see the mountains again in a heartbeat. And this is where we're landing into Cusco, which is very mountainous, as I said, and very compact. And I was not ready for the altitude, because there's a lot of going up if you go down, and everything was down. And when I tell you, you couldn't breathe, you couldn't breathe. I'm talking like, I was feeling every cigarette and vape, and then it's cold, and then it hurts, and then you gotta, what the hell's going on? Because I like to walk. I walk all the time. But this is a whole different type of walk. I even like to walk uphill. I like walking uphill way better than downhill. Downhill, everything just jiggles, and you don't got control of what you're doing, where you're going, and things are flapping that you didn't know you were having, and that is just not for me. I like the burn of the calves and the glutes, and not that I have a big glute, but I like the burn going up. You feel like you're doing something. It's kind of like tanning. I want the highest tingle. I want to feel like I'm roasting in there. For whatever reason, it makes me feel like I'm gonna be more tan. So you get it what I'm saying. But anyway, we landed in Cusco, and boy, was the weather a little different. And then we got to the Sleepy Mouse hostel. Roads were cool. It was almost looking like Italy. It wasn't very Peruvian like I thought I was gonna see. beautiful, beautiful city. Like everything was cool. There's always things down here in the square. Different bands, different people dancing, and just so much like old stoic beauty. You know, I love art, so I loved and fell in love with the graffiti and all the different little cafes and the food and the coffee. And everywhere you looked, it was just like a whole different set of beautiful things with the mountains in the back, the people, the coffee shops. There were so many coffee shops. We could have went to 3 different coffee shops a day for 3 weeks, and we still wouldn't have went to all the coffee shops. It was amazing. It was outstanding. And each one was so unique and so different. They had their own little vibe, they had their own little spin on things, and they all were thriving, which was cool too to see. Here's a little fiesta. There's a parade or something the first day. I thought it was for me, but apparently it wasn't. This was inside our hostel, which was kind of cool, because everybody shares a kitchen. People kind of share ingredients and stuff like that, you know.
This bed actually has a mattress. And I want my tank top off, but I don't know if I have the energy to do it. We're going to sleep right now. We dozed off here and there because our flight was at 9 p.m. And then we flew again at 7 a.m. So not 9 p.m.
So the weather in the day was perfect, and it was pretty chilly at night. But luckily, me and my boy Tony like to sleep when it's really frio, cold. Here's some menus from the restaurants. I now know what they all said. That was lamb. And at night I'd love to go out, and there was just gorgeous churches everywhere, and the cobblestone roads, and then you'd see like the little ladies in their little mountain get up. I finished one of my videos. I would always take pictures of the mirror in the morning. One thing about Peru is they have terrible plumbing, so you're not allowed to flush the toilet paper. That's weird. You gotta put it in the garbage next to you, but it doesn't smell. This was a cool coffee shop. I can't remember what this was called, like B60 or something like that. I don't listen very well. Actually, it was just 3 weeks ago and I can't remember. But she gave us a coffee classroom, and she didn't know I knew how to use that scale. But that's another story. But it was awesome because, like I said, each one was so different, and they all had different ways to advertise. Look at these wooden menus. Freaking cool. But this was super cool. She gave us a super cool classroom, told us all about coffee, and it's kind of nice. Here's another view from the room. Here was our shelving unit in this area. And then your boy Tony likes to eat. And not just eat to eat, but he likes the fancier things sometimes. So he decided to splurge, because you know I'm a broke one. And he took me to this place, him and Tyler, who you'll meet later in the story, way later, because I haven't even met him yet. And we went to Suyu, and it was a plated meal. And yes, this is actually guinea pig, and it was good, so Petco better watch out. But anyway, the course is just coming. It was just a beautiful, beautiful time. Just me and him in there, really. There's one other family in there, and we got to try all these cool plated dishes. And honestly, it wasn't really that expensive. I think it was somewhere around $20 or so per person, maybe a little more, maybe 25. But to be able to try a little bit of Cusco, that was legit. And I'd be feeling myself sometimes, so I'd have Tony take a picture or two of me while I was pondering. Not really, I just wanted to sit like that on those steps and take a picture, but things were cool. The architecture was cool, the plants were cool. I loved all the little statues and the big statues. And I mean, there's a lot of statues, so I don't think I took pictures of them all. I like the graffiti way more. You might see a couple pictures of the church. There's me. More statues and more church, like I said. But it was beautiful because sometimes you'd see it with the rain and sometimes you'd see it with the sun. And it was cool, like just to see it different, because it gave like just a whole array of stoic looks. We saw this really cool waterfall fountain thing. I luckily was wearing teal so you could see me. Here's a view from underneath. Tony, well, you can see his arms, but he's in there, I promise.
Tony's pings go to the banyos.
So one crazy thing, besides not being able to flush the toilet paper, is that the toilet paper, you would have to buy it before you went into the banyos, if you wanted wipe. So that was kind of different. So you always keep a couple souls on you. That's the money. The juice that you just saw us drinking, they had these huge juice bars all over in the markets, and it was absolutely amazing. They would freshly blend your juice for you. You could pick all different, whatever you wanted. But I'm now in, where the hell am I? Oh yeah, I'm in Loja, Ecuador, and we just found some more juice things in the market. Oh gosh, I'm way behind, but that's okay. It gives me time to think about what I'm supposed to be saying when I'm saying it. The alpacas were everywhere. I did not have an alpaca burger though. I stopped myself from that. Not really. Maybe we just forgot to go. But we did pack a bowl. Alpaca bowl. But the art was amazing. The hard part though is like, if you wanted to pet an alpaca, you better have a couple coins like you needed to wipe, because everything in Cusco, taxi, moto, look at my art. And the guys who come up and show you the art that they had were actually trying to sell you drugs. So that was kind of different, but either way, that's not important. Here's the juice bar. Another just huge meal that was probably less than $10. I'll tell you why I was drinking this neon green freaking radioactive looking stuff on the next video. But yeah, my certificate came in, and there's going to be a part 2 and probably a part 3.